Hi guys, today we'll be covering the Alienware AW3423DW QD OLED ultrawide gaming monitor in the daytime, showcasing that gray haze on the monitor when light is introduced and a text test at the end. And we're going to look at glare, reflections, all that, introduced by the sun, in case you were going to use this in the daytime to see if it's still legible. Also awesome news on this awesome QD display with new certification on SGS Pro Gaming and Eye Care certified. And I'll be telling you a couple of things that I've been able to find on this monitor while we look at some wallpaper engines to showcase the beautiful ultra-wide aspect ratio with its amazing colors. Let's see if this glossy monitor can handle daytime viewing. Let's get into it. So friends, Notebook Check is reporting that Samsung has announced that the Alienware AW3423DW monitor has now launched in the US market and that it is eye-friendly as well as stutter-free during gaming. Samsung, the maker of the cutting-edge quantum dot QD display tech that adds to the new Dell monitor's sky-high price, has announced that it has secured SGS Pro Gaming and Eye Care display certifications. To this end, SGS claims to have proven that QD display monitors can indeed achieve refresh rates of 175Hz, whereas the impending wave of TVs with the same new layer can go up to 144Hz. The group has also reportedly endorsed the OEM's claims of a 0.1 millisecond gray-to-gray response time, as well as black-to-white response speed of 0.01 milliseconds. Samsung now asserts that the QD display has achieved SGS's highest pro gaming verified level, Platinum, having met the independent study firm's highest standards in terms of light leakage, viewing angles, and color. Finally, QD display's blue light emissions were found to be under 11.5% and thus eligible for the SGS Eye Care display rating. So here, friends, are the two badges. You can see SGS performance tested with harmful blue light at less than 11.5%, getting that Eye Care display certification, and the SGS Pro Gaming verified Platinum level with a true response time, max frame rate, and luminance ratio. And later on in the video, I do have a text test just in case you guys were interested in that, as I know many will use this for a work and play monitor. And so far, I can report that there are no issues with text viewing, scrolling, web browsing, even editing. Everything has been a pleasant experience. I will say that because of this OLED technology, I have seen the text scrolling, in a sense, to be better and clearer than the Aorus FE43U. It's easier on the eyes, I would say, on this OLED monitor, but again, the clarity is here and there's no issue because you can see right here, Eye Care display certification, so it's easy on the eyes. You will have no eye strain. I don't, at least. I've had this on for a long time, over a week now, and I have not had any eye strain. Usually when I get a new monitor or a TV, I kind of have to adjust because they're different technologies sometimes. But on this one, it was easily plug and play and let's go. There were no issues whatsoever. Now the brightness here doesn't get crazy bright like the Aorus or other monitors, but it's okay, because the depth of this picture is amazing and the color is outstanding. It makes up for any lower in brightness specification. So I just want to add this into this video, as this is very important to know. If you got this or you're deciding to get this, know that this monitor is capable of having certifications at platinum levels. And to have the Eye Care display certification is very important for people who work with monitors. So I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. That's amazing news. So I do want to cover a couple of things that I have been able to experience and maybe you wouldn't know about. If you're watching this, I know you're interested in this monitor. There's so much demand for this one, and there's a couple of topics I will talk about, so please listen to what I'm gonna say because there's a lot of things you may not know about. Just because you hear QD OLED technology doesn't mean throw out your current monitor out the window, throw it in the trash, just get this and that's it. There are certain issues with this monitor that I'll talk about today, but mostly and honestly, this is a beautiful monitor. It is very, very good. I have no complaints whatsoever. You could say this is the best monitor I've ever used, except you know I love brightness. I do wish it was a bit brighter. I hope you guys watched my next generation QD OLED, as I actually cut all those trailers into the ultra-wide format, of course hiring some contrast and brightness levels because I want to show you the maximum power of this monitor. And if you have this monitor, try RPG mode. Usually when I edit, I do this in sRGB, so you know the colors are more natural, they're more subdued, but when I game or play, I play on RPG mode now because it is a bit more contrasty and brighter than standard, as RTS is a little bit too strong, I've noticed, compared to RPG. So if you have this monitor, try RPG. I keep this always at 100% brightness. I don't care about the burn-in. I will be the first to report to everyone if I get burn-in, but I'm okay and covered for 3 years, just like as we all are. So why are you gonna lower your brightness if you're afraid of burn-in? If you're afraid of burn-in, don't even get this thing. But the thing is, you are covered for 3 years, so who cares? Blast that sucker, 100% brightness, and enjoy the beautiful HDR content that QD OLED can provide, with those inky blacks and beautiful peak highlights of the 1000 HDR. I have played some PlayStation 5 Gran Turismo 7, and the HDR mode, albeit at 1080p, in HDR it looks beautiful on this monitor. But we'll get to consoles in another video, as this is primarily a PC-centric monitor. So let's take a look at Wallpaper Engine with some ultra-wide videos. So I'm doing this on the fly, so please forgive me if I mess up, but you can see this wallpaper right here looks amazing. I haven't even seen all these because again, this is my first time actually using this engine with this ultra-wide format. Hey look, there's some fireworks. Oh cool, look at the comets or meteors. This is awesome. And the color saturation here is awesome. See, there's no trail. I don't know how it's going to look on the camera. Oh, and one thing to note, I did forget to mention. Look at the bottom of the screen. You do see the sun is moving from the beginning of this video to the end. It's weird how the sun works in the sense that I'm capturing it on screen. And look at the bottom left corner of the monitor. The sunlight is coming in because I have window blinds on the left side. I would say about 3 to 4 feet from this monitor, so you can see and have an idea of how opening a window and how much light coming into your room will affect the monitor. So you can see from my room, I have illuminated on the left side of the room because the window is open. I do have another window on the back of me about 10 feet, but we will get to that in a little bit. So keep a note, the sun is moving and you see that blind reflection on the actual monitor. It's just gonna get more pronounced, and that's why I wanted to show you this video so you can see how much light and window reflections will affect. If it bounces off your desk, if it bounces off the wall, if it hits this monitor with its glossy screen, it is very glossy. Just wanted to bring you that information. So let's keep on taking a look at these wallpapers while that is happening. So keep an eye on that. You'll see what happens later on. What the heck? I can't put it that way, huh? Well, this is the Wallpaper Engine. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Because this is ultra-wide. It doesn't have any black bars or anything on the sides. As you can see, I'm moving the cursor just to see if there was nothing. Yeah, there's nothing there. Huh. Okay, but just showing you here, look at the black inky contrast. It is inky black, but there is a small, I would say, haze. There is a lot of sunlight coming into the room. You can see from the left side. You can see from my desk. Look how much overpowering sunlight is coming in. And I'm doing that on purpose because I want you to see, because it is not 100% black because that light is coming in. It looks a little bit grayish, but again, I have a test later with a camera light and you will see the gray haze later on in the video. I'm trying to cover a lot of things, friends, here because I want to help you make an awesome buying decision. Ooh, this picture looks beautiful. Look at that color. Look at that saturation. Is that a ship or something? That looks really beautiful. It is pretty bright. But wow, this image looks amazing. Let's see another one. Okay, this is really cool. Look at this with the rain. The color saturation here on this monitor in RPG mode is beautiful, you guys. It's not too saturated like RTS mode. But if you pick Gamer 1, you can adjust the saturation of the colors, so that's a cool thing. I haven't been able to find how to change the gamma on any of them, except for creator mode. But again, I'm still getting into this monitor and trying to mess around with some settings. But now trying with RPG mode in this video, it is super saturated, beautiful, bright. Everything looks really popping and really nice. And that's the thing, you guys. Honestly, this monitor is really, I would say, looks extraordinary with certain content, and it looks just okay with others. The content that you're watching should be high resolution, should be ultra wide. The color palette should be vibrant. The contrast, instead of it being gray, should be black. There's so many things that when you throw on this monitor, you might be like, it's okay, it's not that good. You have to make sure you're using content that really shows off the monitor. That's the whole point. If not, you wouldn't be able to see it. And that's why I want to put this Wallpaper Engine, because all these colors are popping. Look at this beautiful Pokemon picture here in ultra-wide format. You wouldn't really enjoy this at 16:9. You got to keep it at ultra-wide. Of course, at 3440 by 1440 to get the max resolution. And of course, even with this Wallpaper Engine, some wallpapers will be more, I want to say, eye-popping than others because that's just how it was made. So it's just some looks extraordinary, some looks mediocre. Try to get the best of the best, highest resolution. Hey, look at Pikachu. That's really cool with the lightning. Now I'm noticing, look at the blinds at the reflection from the window on the left side of the screen. It's super sunny, you can see on my desk and on the left side of the monitor. So this is what happens when there's reflection, when there's light coming in your room. Again, this is about 3 to 4 feet to my left with the window open. You can see right here, pardon the mess, as I just received the Katana V2. And I want to actually display that with this monitor because it's pretty long and this is an ultra-wide. That is going to make the sound amazing as this monitor does not have any speakers. But I'll be getting to that unboxing very soon. But you can see this is super glossy. It still amazingly retains all the exact color from the front to the sides. Even better than an IPS panel. I can only show you, but I'm telling you what I'm seeing. If you look at it from the front, or if you go all the way to the left or right, it looks exactly the same. The color does not degrade whatsoever. Is that because of the QD OLED technology? I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. Even IPS panels can't do that. It degrades a bit. Not as much as VA, which just washes everything out. And forget about TN, it looks like it just turns a dirty color. But this QD OLED, the color stays the same from any direction, from any angle, and that's a really cool feature. But you can see, this monitor is super glossy. Now showing you some text right here, I do have this monitor at 144 Hz as I was testing 10-bit HDR, which I will talk about in another video. But just showcasing this here in case you were wondering how scrolling or web browsing would look. Again, I have no issues whatsoever. And this is a perfect white background to show you for a second. There is no ABL kicking in, there is nothing. So I'm going to zoom in a bit just to show you. Does it look clear to you? I hope the camera is picking it up pretty good. Now I'm going to slow it down just to hopefully capture it a little bit better. I hope the camera is in focus. But again, friends, I have no issues whatsoever with scrolling, with texting, moving the windows up and down, left and right with different kind of spreadsheets. Nothing, no issues whatsoever. Also to note, friends, this monitor does have a pixel shift, it seems, as when I'm editing, I want to say about maybe every half an hour. It's more than once in an hour, that's for sure. As when I'm editing, I just noticed because I'm staring at the screen, right? I have audio files, I have video, pictures, all that. When I'm looking at the screen, I could see it shift from left to right, up and down, or diagonally, whatever. It shifts. And since I'm not used to that, because I have other monitors that, of course, no pixel burn-in, no image retention, nothing like that. I've never seen that before. So to see this for the first time, many of you will be seeing this for the first time as this will be your first OLED. And it annoys me, again friends, I don't mean to talk bad about the monitor, but I know it's a prevention thing, I know it's actually helping you to make sure you don't get burn-in or image retention, but since I'm not used to it, that's something that you have to be aware of, as if you will maybe even work, it'll pixel shift, you know? I don't think anyone really works with OLEDs in the sense that an LG 55-inch OLED, you're not going to use it for work, and if you do, then you know what the pixel shift does. But for monitors, for things that are close to you, that you're always seeing in front of you, ultra-wide or 16:9, whatever they make in the future, this pixel shift, I want to say, screen prevention software tool is something to take note, as it might bug you. Maybe not the first, maybe not the second, but the more you see it, the more you notice it. And again, if you've had OLEDs before, you know what I'm talking about, but if you don't have OLEDs, or if you've never used one and this is your first monitor, that is just something to note. I have not noticed it though on any kind of gaming, maybe because everything is moving too fast, and it does happen, but I just can't see it. I've only noticed it when I'm editing, not even web browsing or anything like that. And if it has happened, again, because I'm scrolling and I'm moving, maybe I turn my head around and it happens and I didn't see it, but when I'm editing, everything is static, I can see it. And it was worrisome at the beginning, but not so much as now I know what it is. And it's something to prevent issues on your OLED panels. So it is included here on this monitor, but when you see it for the first time, don't freak out, that's what it is. It's a pixel shift feature that protects your OLED monitor. Getting into that gray haze that we all hear about. I have my cell phone light right here, you can see. Within 1 to 2 feet, if you put it towards the screen, there is a gray haze. If I shine the light, look what happens here when I move the light, you can see That area was black, but now it's gray. But if I go back, it turns black, inky black. And I go back from the top. So it's anything with light hitting the panel. You can see it turns gray haze. But the good thing is that only happens when you have overpowering light like I'm showing you right now. This is a pitch black dark room, and it only happens when you're about 1 to 2 feet in front of the monitor or from the sides. Anything further, anything away, a little lamp, anything like that will not affect the image whatsoever. It's crystal clear and super black. The whole glossy panel is super black. That's the whole point of OLED and QD OLED. It has so much depth, real depth, as the pixels can turn off. But if you do have overpowering, I want to say, ceiling lights with a fan light, workshop light, or if you have even more windows than me, you will see, or you may see, that gray haze. Now we'll go back to that beautiful image we saw earlier. I opened my curtains about 10 feet behind me. You can see on the right side of the image. The reason why it's not super bright, it's because the sun is on the left side, not behind me. So there is still a little bit of light. I mean, there is substantial light coming in, but the monitor is not showcasing that. But you can see the blinds on the right side of the monitor. Also, I'm zooming into the middle. On the left side, now the glare is happening, and look what's happening to the picture. But again, this is standard on all monitors. You show light on it, of course it's going to reflect. But you can see where the Alienware is, the black to gray, same thing on the monitor. So that's the thing. It will turn gray or foggy or washed out with a lot of light coming into your room. You will see that on this monitor. That happens to every single monitor, but we're talking about this one. But again, friends, you will have no issues whatsoever. And the point I want to make across with this video, as QD OLED technology, in my opinion, is amazing. But to me, this QD OLED panel, if it was any less bright, I would say it's a no-go, because I need brightness. I need that color saturation, that image pop. But you need that brightness to be able to display HDR perfectly or SDR content. I mean, I usually always use SDR content. That's just what I prefer with that color saturation. I just can't understand if there are other OLED TVs or panels or monitors that do not or can't achieve this level of brightness. I mean, I gotta stay away from that, and I'm just being honest with you. This brightness is good enough, but I prefer brighter images. I need a brighter image. That's just my personal preference. But I mean, I'm showing you here with sunlight, it can display properly. It's showcasing it beautifully. I don't have any complaints other than I wish this had 1 or 2 notches more in brightness. It really does ramp up brightness pretty quickly from 75 to 100. Again, you're seeing 100% right here. But maybe again, I'm used to ultra brightness. But when you see it running and it gets to where it needs to get to and the images are popping, wow, it looks like this. That's why those Innolux panels are really cool. The Samsung Odyssey G70A, which I hope they make brighter, the Gigabyte M28U, 500 plus nits with that black equalizer. That's what I'm trying to tell you, is how this looks, but this is real. This is true OLED turn on, turn off pixels. The contrast depth in this monitor really is amazing. I mean, you can't unsee it. When you see something else, you'll see like a TN or a VA or an IPS, and you're gonna be like, that's fake. Because this is true. This is true depth. That's the whole point of OLED. And that's something you're going to get when you get this monitor. Again, friends, you do have to make sure your content is perfect for your monitors or TVs. I mean, if you watch VHS content, you're not going to get the best experience. You get what I'm saying? You have to make sure it's high resolution. Content that you're watching, the games, actually have built-in menus that you can even increase the saturation or contrast. Again, this is a beautiful monitor. Make sure you're going to use content accordingly. Once you get this monitor, the first thing you should do is download the Wallpaper Engine so you can see what I'm talking about. Put RPG mode, 100% brightness. Don't worry about no problem with burn-in. This has a 3-year warranty, next day replacement if you get burn-in. So crank up that brightness, enjoy your monitor, and you won't look back. So please, friends, if you do like this video, we'll lead into that. Please hit that like button as it helps the channel tremendously. Please feel free to leave a comment down below and I will get to it as soon as possible. Subscribe if you do want to see more of my wider range of monitors that I have here on the channel. I don't cherry pick any of them. I buy them because I love them. I need them. I want to showcase and show the differences to help you make an awesome buying decision. That's why I can give you my eye account of what I'm seeing and when I do these versus videos, because I have them. And don't forget to check out the playlist, as I have many more games and applications to help you make an awesome buying decision. Remember, always double check your emails, because they have been shipping these out faster than expected. It might say a future date and it ends up shipping in the next couple of days or next couple of weeks, so please be on the lookout, as you don't want to be surprised and end up knowing that UPS delivered it outside and you didn't know it was going to get there, and then someone, takes off with it. So double check your emails, always be aware, because you want to get this in your house as soon as possible. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys next time.